So today we're going to be playing with the gel plate again, but we're going to do something a bit more complicated this time. We're going to go in and have about 3 layers. And I'm going to show you the process. You can stop at 2, but it's kind of fun to take it that extra step further. So let's get started. So we're going to create just a background layer first. And I'm just going to use, I've got the titanium buff light. And I'm just going to add in just a little bit of gold. And literally all we're doing is just creating a background. And we're going to pull that. So I'm using the extra sort of tissue paper again for this technique because it's a lot more flexible than a sheet of paper, which you'll see why I need it to be that as we go through it. So rough side down, just lay it on and smooth it out. And just pull. And we just have the background paper ready to use. So now I'm just going to clean this off. So if you wanted to do more than one pull off that, you would have been able to get a second pull and have another background. As it's for the video, I don't need to. But what I do need to do is just dry that afterwards so that the paint adheres to it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is add some colours onto here. So I'm using the fluid paints this time, the golden fluids. I've got phthalo turquoise, let's put a bit of that on there. Quinacridone magenta. And I've also got some quinacridone nickel azo gold. So just some bits of that on. And we just need a nice even thin layer again on this one. So I'll just mix this off. Okay, that's now ready. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some foliage. And even this time of year, we can find all kinds of things in the garden that are really good fun to play with. And what you want on this first layer is foliage that has nice detail on the back of the leaves. So we want to make sure we're putting them with the back of them face down onto the mat. And we'll literally just press them on slightly. Don't move the sit off because we're going to press it down with a piece of paper in a moment. So I'm just going to put on a selection. Now it's on this layer because we're going to do another layer, but it's on this layer that we need to add more detail, have a lot of things, because otherwise what you'll see what happens and it'll be a bit of a hit and miss if I don't. So we need to put plenty on. I'll save the big one. There. That little fern, I think there. So you see there's plenty on there. It's really busy. So what we're going to do now is grab the sheet that we used before. And that's pretty much dry now. And we're going to pop that on top of the gel plate. And then we're just going to press it down to start with to just catch all the stuff down on the plate. And then we're going to start working on each set of leaves. And what we want to do is really press in around every leaf and the stem so that we know we've got as much paint onto the paper that we can get, so we get the definition. So this one just takes a few minutes just to do to make sure we're getting as good a result as we can. And then once we think we've got that, I think that's about done, is we're going to start to peel this up, but we're going to remove the leaves. That's actually stuck to the paper rather than the mat. But you can see the reverse image of it just there. So what we're going to do is put this back down onto it and pick that up. So we're going to repeat the process all the way across the gel plate. And what you want to do is take some of it off so that the piece of paper stays in place. There's a little piece stuck there. That's it. but you don't want to, you need to make sure it's fully exposed because you don't want to slide the piece out because you'll lose all the definition. You see that then? I just need to lift that, that's it. And because we're using quite big pieces of foliage, I'm having to do quite a lot of lifting to put back. There we go. So again, I'm just going to put that down. This is why it's important some of it stays stuck down, because it's got to be in that same position so that the detail shows. I'll just take that off. And take that off. And then we just pop it down. And we press it like that. There's a tiny bit I can feel there that I've missed off something. And it is. And that's it. So we peel that. That's the first layer. Now we're going to go a little bit further with it. So I'm just going to clean off the pad. So you can stop at that point if you like. It's entirely up to you. It's quite nice to have some like that and some with this third step. Let's just give that a clean. And then we're going to just again dry it. Now this time, you can do this with a light colour. I'm going in with a darker colour. I'm using the heavier bodied paint this time. I've got it in Prussian blue hue. So a nice dark colour. Now it doesn't matter on this if you don't go right to the edges of the mat, if you miss bits. It doesn't have to cover everything. So let's just spray that out, see if I've put enough on. A little bit stingy, just got a little bit more. That's it. Cool. Oh, I've got blue paint all over my hands. Okay, this time what we're going to do, we're going to go in with some bigger leaves. And it doesn't matter about the pattern on the back because we're not really going to use it like that this time. So put those on. So this time I'm not going to use things like this. It's too fine a detail. I will use the fern, I think, just on the edges. And that little one there. The other thing I'm going to do is just grab a stencil. And I'm just going to take off a few little bits here and there. Just to add a bit more interest. Just using a baby wipe for that. Lifting that off again. And then all we're going to do is we're going to go back in with our printed piece and pretty much line it up and place it down. And what we're doing this time, we're creating another layer that you actually see the first layer of leaves through. So we still need to get down and around the stems because we still want them to look like leaves on the top layer, even though we're not going to go into detail with them. And the reason we want the big leaves is because it leaves more open space so we can see what's through the next layer. So just going to take that back. And it just creates a bit more interest, a bit more stuff. You can also use what's left on the mat, but because it'd be quite dry now, so what you need to do is add another colour to that, another something like this cream here. Just pop some of that on, a bit of the titanium buff. But remember, it's always got to be wet to pull a layer. It's the wet paint that activates what's underneath. So let's just see if we can get a pull off that. Just grab another piece of old tissue. quite a good press down, so I think that blue is quite dry. So let's have a look. That's a very subtle pull, but I quite like that. And there you go. So thanks for being here and watching this technique. I hope you've enjoyed it and I hope you get to play with it. See you soon. Take care.